This is Across the Streams Media Podcast.
I want to know what you're thinking. There are some things you can't hide. I want to know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
Hey everyone, this is Aaron with Front Row Negative, and I am back with a new episode. Sans Chris. Chris is on a permanent paternity leave, so it will just be me. But I didn't come alone. I brought somebody in who, honestly, it started with a Halo battle that might have been kind of rigged. And if you're a Houston fan, there are no trash cans involved. But there might have been some ringers in that game. I'm just saying, headshots were hit from across the map through hidden terrain. Hey, I mean, even Dodgers can win half a game. But still, since then, we've been talking. I'm a fan of his shows. I think he's checked out mine every so often. But finally, I'm having him on. Finally, we're talking outside of a Xbox game lobby. And I'm glad to have him on. So, Jay, or is it Brady? Or is it both? Jay Brady?
Hey, it's J.M. Brady.
J.M. Brady. But I'm glad to have you on.
But you can call me Jay for short, and most people know me as J-Man from J360 Productions. So how's it going there, sir? It's good to be here.
It's going good. It is going good. And I have to ask, how many shows do you have? Because it seems like every time I go to my iTunes, there's a new show popping up.
Well, in terms of J360 TV or J360 Radio?
There's a difference.
Yeah. Well, there is, but I'll be perfectly honest with you. I think I have 8 shows in function right now, and I have 20 shows for planning. So it's like I just keep working.
Wow. That is, I can barely handle one every 2 weeks. And you've got
8. You mean jams?
Oh, no. I'm talking about myself.
Oh.
My own show.
Oh my God, yeah, but your show has a lot of impact too, man. You doing it. Like I said, there's room for all of us artists out here. And
there is.
Like I said, we are just doing such a great job, all of us. Like I see you, believe me. I'm always like, yeah, go on Front Row Negative as I open up a Mountain Dew or like a live wire Mountain Dew, which I have to get those as soon as I see them because they're never there after a while. You know.
So what is your favorite Mountain Dew flavor? What's your favorite?
God, dude, I believe it or not, Voltage.
Really?
Yes, I actually love the blue one.
The one that tastes like a Jolly Rancher, like a liquid Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yo, man, like my training is not gonna help out if I stay with that. So I have to like cut that out. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. For myself, I got to go Code Red. I've always been a fan of the Code Red.
A classic.
It is.
A very classic. You know what I mean? Like, I love Code Red too. Like, that'd be definitely number 2. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And we can't. Oh, go on.
I was gonna say, but my all-time favorite, and they brought it back once, and they never really brought it back since. They brought it back recently for like a few months.
I know what you're talking about.
Halo 3 Game Fuel, the Orange Citrus Game Fuel.
That is a legendary one.
Yes.
That really lives up to its name, man. Like during the time of Halo 3, like that whole ad campaign and everything behind it was beautiful. We will never get something like that again.
We will, it will never. It won't be the same. If they do, it won't be the same.
No.
It's like Pitch Black. They bring back different versions of that. But the original Pitch Black was the best. The second, the sequel, and part 3, and all the other ones that they tried doing, no.
Why would you do that? You know, like we all want the original. We want our mouths turning blue and purplish and stuff and scaring the hell out of our neighbors the next day. You know what I mean? That's what
is true.
I guess they just decided to go with the horror element thing for longer instead of giving you the original best one, give you all these lackluster sequels that you don't care for.
Well, now we get the voodoo. Like every year now, there's a theme with the voodoo where they do different candies as a flavor. And to some defense, their Starburst flavor was really good. But the Smarties flavor, the Skittles flavor, and what was the fourth one? It was Starburst, Skittles.
I think, wasn't it candy corn one time?
It was candy corn one time. Yes, it was.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, it's the voodoos have been really
hit or miss.
Yeah, very hit or miss. But that original Pitch Black, Mountain Dew,
can't touch it.
Mountain Dew, if you're listening, listen. I'm not a sponsor. I'm not a partner, even though I've been asking to be one for like 15 years now.
Me too.
bring your ears up to the speaker, and please listen to me. First of all, make me a partner, damn it. I'm tired of waiting. It's been far too damn long. Secondly, bring back original Pitch Black. We love that stuff. It's a fan favorite. Bring it back. I mean, I go buy the cheap prayer candles from Fiesta. I light it with prayers of trying to get back that Pitch Black, and it hasn't happened yet. I've seen many, many versions of the movie Puppet Master, yet we have no Pitch Black. Bring it back. Okay, I'm done preaching.
Hey man, that was beautiful. Like I was with you throughout all of that. It's very true.
It is.
Like what does it take? Like we've been doing this stuff for free even.
Yeah, pretty much.
God.
It's like you go to Mountain Dew's Instagram and you see every post they make, there's always those 15 people bring back Pitch Black.
Yes.
And it's the same people. And it's like, listen to the people. They're consistent at least.
I mean, thank you. It's just like, oh man, someday it'll happen. Granted, we'll be a lot older and a lot grayer, but it'll happen. So
going from this out of nowhere Mountain Dew talk, let's kind of dive into the history of you and your podcasting, because you got 8 shows, but you didn't just start with 8 shows overnight. You had to make that journey to get where you are right now.
Well, yes, that's very true. I mean, like going back to it, like J360 Productions as a whole started in 2006. But wow. You see, for a while there, because I was going into filmmaking a lot more then. So I was working on short films at the time, and I was in college and all. So I was working on getting my career together because I believe in entertainment, telling stories, always making things happen and creating like different comedy things. Because I was like, yo, I want my own stories out there. And then at some point, I was in college and I was like, I'm not feeling this, but I need to get them out there. Technology and money, man. That's just how it is. But then true. I was like, there's another medium. I'm really good at radio talk because one of my places was radio at the time. And I said, let me start a radio division in this. So I went ahead and I took it and I made the J-Man show. And then I was like, look, I got a lot to say what's going on right now. Whether you like it or not, I'm going to be here. And then like 11, 16, 16, rest was history.
There you go. So how many shows did you start off at the beginning? Just the one or?
Just the one.
Okay.
Yeah, for like in terms of J360 Radio, it was always the J-Man show. And it was like, I think I'm going to start invading on Tuesdays. And then I was like, nope, bring it to Wednesday. Let's give them some middle of the week fun. And then like every Wednesday, it was always me popping on at 10 o'clock, giving my 2 cents about different things. And then I was like, okay, let's keep on going. And originally it was supposed to be 10 episodes.
Oh, wow.
Believe it or not. Yeah, because I was trying to go ahead and you know how like you do like editorials and then like some people will say certain things and then like saying like movies are not the way they used to be. And then I would always come up and be like, according to your opinion.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I think I get frustrated the most when people use the term line so-and-so is killing my childhood. I'm like, no, nobody's killing your childhood. Those forms of media are still there. They're still there. They're ready to watch. This is just a different interpretation or a new interpretation of somebody else's vision.
That's it.
And I'm not going to lie. I defended the Michael Bay Turtles more than I should have when those came out.
They weren't bad.
They weren't bad.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, I'm like, if this ruins your childhood, you already had a bad childhood to begin with.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just seasoning on it, if anything else.
Yeah.
But I think people use that as like an outlet for anything. I mean,
you
might have a viable argument somewhere, but it's gone when you go too into it and you just babble off, Like when I saw them, design point of view, I thought they were a little too big. But I got to also understand this is a new interpretation. It might not be as real or gritty as, say, like the 90s one. I can always watch that. So by looking at them, I saw their personalities were intact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you see Raph, that's Raph. And then you see Leo, and it's like, that's totally Leo right there. And Donatello, they were all consistent in the way that they were. Even though the look was different. I
remember seeing the late maquette designs that got like maybe about was it 2 or 3 months before the movie came out. I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, Leo looks like a samurai with like the bamboo armor chest plate.
Mhm.
Donnie's covered in tech, makes perfect sense.
Mhm.
Raph's got the do-rag, and he's got, he looks like he's about to go listen to some Wu-Tang.
Yeah,
Makes perfect
right.
sense. And Mikey looks like he's just hanging out on the Jersey Shore.
That's it.
That's their personalities, and it made sense. The voices were okay. Again,
Yeah.
they fit that style. There's nothing wrong with it. I found there's nothing wrong. Now, the only thing I did find an issue with was I remember reading the early scripts,
Mhm.
and when the fan outrage happened, they went and rewrote the scripts, and they did reshoots, and they made that one guy who was the scientist who was originally supposed to be Shredder become
Mhm.
just a scientist, and they brought in a guy to actually be Shredder.
Yup.
But if you didn't like it, move on to the next movie.
I
Go
mean,
watch
usually.
something else.
Mhm.
I mean, how
Like-
many cartoon series are there? There's like, what, 6 now?
6.
You pick
You
your
know-
favorite.
Rise really, if you look at it from, see, 'cause I kind of look at things like from an artistic point of view too.
Yes.
Rise had like so many different ways of producing it. That's why it was awesome. Like if you look at it from like the actual lore, yeah, it's a little different, but it has to be. How often
Yes.
are you going to tell the same story?
That is true. That is
You know?
very true.
It's kind of like what Ultimate X-Men way back in there. Remember the original Ultimate, like
Oh,
way back then? Yeah, and they went it differently with all that. Like Wolverine was a part of Magneto's group and stuff, and that's like when does that actually happen outside of Age of Apocalypse?
And then
So it's like-
Cyclops leaves the X-Men to go join the Brotherhood.
Yes,
I mean, that was a big deal because we were like, wait, that never happened.
right.
So interpretations need to happen.
They do.
They really do.
Mhm.
I mean, what's the current hate on movie? Is it still Snow White, or is it kind of past for now?
There's a pin in that for now. If anything, I think like Furiosa is like the thing right now because it's like it's a movie that was good, but not a lot of people saw it, and people are not really trying to review it. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? And it came out during that time where its only competition was Garfield, and that was during like
Oh, Garfield. I remember the Garfield hate now. I remember the Garfield hate.
yeah, for both of those movies, that was something, wasn't it?
Yeah, Garfield. They hate Garfield because of Chris Pratt, and they hate Furiosa because it was
It was
it
Anna
wasn't-
Taylor-Joy
it's
trying to be
it-
badass, I think.
yeah, it's Anna
That's what it
Taylor-Joy.
comes to.
And the only hate I remember was for Furiosa came from John Leguizamo, but he is a whole bunch of animal crackers right now. He's off his rocker. He wants that job at Comedy Central so bad,
Yeah.
and he's not getting it. But
Of
for
course.
but for Garfield, it's like it's Chris Pratt. So what if he's the it guy right now who's getting all the voice work? Who cares?
Right.
Who cares? Who cares?
Like,
I mean,
well, if you ask anybody about like why they hate Chris Pratt, there's just like a whole universe of why they hate Chris Pratt. You know what I'm saying? There's no definite answer.
no, there's not. There's different reasons. Oh, he stopped Thanos from, or he didn't stop Thanos. That
Right.
was the movie. That was written into
was
the
the point.
storyline. That was
Yeah.
the point. It's too much hate.
Yeah, but I
Too
mean
much
that's almost anything now. Of course, though, it's a lot of streaming stuff too. Some people are still trying to figure out whether Dune 2 was good or not.
To be honest, I have no interest in Dune. I don't have any hate for it.
Right.
I just have no interest.
yeah.
And that's when
totally
people ask,
okay.
when people ask me if I've seen a movie, I'm like, I'll tell them I have no interest. I'm not going to hate on it. I'm not going to criticize it. I just have no interest, which means I have no opinion. So that's it. With
Well-
Dune, haven't seen them. I haven't had that need or want to see them yet. But I eventually probably will, and I might
Right.
like it. I might not.
Hey,
But I
And-
will say, people need to see on, is it Shudder or is it Late Night with the Devil?
oh yeah,
Such a good movie.
Yes, that is a good movie.
So good.
The
So
way
good.
they're doing it, like horror is just killing it. Really, like I
It is.
mean, the way it's just like making that comeback, but it's not telling you it's a comeback, but it's there.
Yeah, you're having people get more excited about Smile 2
Mhm.
than you are for the next, was it Batman movie that they announced recently?
Yeah,
or the next Joker movie,
and the next Superman movie.
Yeah, people are getting more excited about Smile 2 or Quiet Place, the prequel part 1, or whatever else. But yeah, you have Late Night with the Devil, which is amazing. It's just such a good movie.
It's really well done. Yeah, I was aiming for that because that's what the mainstream people like to talk about. You know what I mean? They always talk about now a movie not succeeding rather than a movie actually having a chance to succeed. I keep saying that, I think they revealed a little too much of what goes on behind the scenes, and that's the show now rather than the actual movie itself. Kind of like a cartoon within a cartoon is the movie we pay for, but everything else, such as the director apologizing or like, Dakota, what was her name? Dakota Johnson coming out and telling you, hey, look, I just did a job for Madam Web, okay? I did not know it was going to be that bad. And the funny thing is, I liked it. I actually liked Madam Web because of how bad it was. I was like, this is great.
Oh, I still have not seen it. I still have not seen it yet.
Well, if you ever get a chance, I recommend it because, no, there's no winners here, but I'm telling you, for entertainment popcorn flick of like, how bad does it get? That's the movie for that. It's good for that.
That's usually so. Depending on certain directors, I have to kind of lower my expectations and kind of not nitpick certain directors.
Right.
Zack Snyder, I have to like dumb myself down because I know with Zack Snyder, there's going to be so many plot holes, so many missing things from this movie. That's going to look visually amazing.
Of course.
But there's no substance. And then Rob Zombie. I love horror, but Rob Zombie can make a visually look good movie, but the dialogue in that film is trailer trash, amped up to 12, and he tries to play it off as a grindhouse film, and it's not. And then he hires his leathery old hag of a wife to play some 20-something-year-old, and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. That whole scene with her on the white horse was just weird in that Halloween movie. I'm just saying.
And see, you just had to say white horse, and I already know which movie you're talking about.
I mean, it was just like, what the hell is that?
Why? She died in the first movie. Why bring her back? It doesn't make sense.
Right. I mean, that's why he didn't come back for 3. He said, I'm not doing 3. It's like, thank God.
Well, it's like Jason has the mommy issues, not Michael.
At all.
At all. Michael has the sister issues, not the mommy issues.
Exactly.
So why are you doing that? It makes no sense. But you had to put his wife in there. She needed that paycheck.
Oh, yeah. Well, ex-wife now. Allegedly, they're getting a divorce or some crap. It's like, well, who else wants her?
Nobody does, except Skid Row.
Maybe.
Except Skid Row.
I just think it's wild. Like, of course, a lot of directors are doing this blatantly, too. You can have, like, an insert. You can have, like, a little reference, maybe. But let it carry the story. Let the story sell itself. But if you put like too much of yourself in there, like what Ryan Johnson did for episode 8, that might as well have just been Ryan's movie, Pretty much. Because
I can see
all
that.
Inserts was just like, what, dude? Look, I want to know if I want to know all the shit from 7. Remember 7? Yes, carry that.
Yeah. Well, the last trilogy that we got, I think Force Awakens was a good setup. It gave you mystery. It gave you new young characters who were kind of the younger versions, like the new starter Pokemon of the old versions. We had Poe, we had Finn, and we had Rey. And then if you want to get technical, we had BB-8, who was basically Luke, Han, Leia, and R2. Yeah. So that's this generation starter Pokemon. That's fine. Episode 7. Great, even though that felt like a side story, that felt like a side mission.
Oh, of course it did.
it had a great setup of who are Rey's parents. That whole lead into like who's Rey's parents, that mystery, that build up to it. Then when that director from 7 was the startup. 8 had the great mystery of the parents. 9 was like the director from 7. From 7 came back for 9.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams.
And he's like, yeah, you know what? Let's make this Palpatine's granddaughter, because that would be a twist.
That was the great ass pull, though. Episode 9, that's its subtitle right there. The great ass pull. I was like, oh, no.
I'm just going to say this. And I was hoping that this would have gone, like me going in to see episode 9. They announce who her last name, they say who her last name is, and they say it's Rendar. And I'm like, wait, as in Dash Rendar from Shadows?
That could have been cool.
That would have been a better twist, because technically that's a semi-unknown, unless you're an N64 player or a deep Star Wars fan.
Mm-hmm. Because I read the books and played the game.
Yeah, that would have launched the series into another direction, away from the Skywalkers, away from the Palpatines, away from all those people that we've already established.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have been a better setup storyline for what we have now, because now all we have are them going back to Rebels and Clone Wars and just doing stuff with all that.
Yeah, they're in a hole. They're pretty much doing what Street Fighter did like years ago. Like Street Fighter never bothered to go beyond 3 for like ever. You know what I mean?
Like 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And now that they finally did with 6, and the thing is, everybody loved 6. Like, you know what I mean? Like that whole time.
Yeah.
Like everybody was in there, open, receptive to it. They loved it.
They did.
Because, well, also they didn't destroy their whole lore to make a new game either. There were some people that did that, like Soul Calibur kind of did it.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Street Fighter and Tekken have been really the only two consistent storylines where it keeps evolving, with the exception of Tekken constantly bringing back Heihachi. Yeah,
that's never going away.
That old man's never gonna die. He's like Akuma. He'll never die.
Right. Well, hell, Bison just came back, believe it or not. So
I saw that trailer drop, and the one with Terry in mind. I'm like, crap, because I'm a Terry Bogard fan. I'm a big fan of Terry Bogard. And so a friend sent me a DM of the announcement video. I'm like, what? I don't play Street Fighter anymore. I haven't played it since 4. I haven't played it since part 4. I don't play it. And he's like, no, just watch. You'll love it. I'm watching it, and I see somebody walking. I'm like, okay, who the hell is this? Who they got? Cody from Final Fight? I don't care. And then I see the ponytail. I'm like, no.
Yep.
And then it shows his back with the backpack and the star. I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Welcome home, AG. Welcome home.
Hey, if certain game companies hit my fanatic systems, I'll come back in. Call of Duty got me whenever Godzilla vs. Kong came out, and Call of Duty had those skins with Mecha Godzilla. I'm like, I'm back at GameStop. I'm buying that game. I'm dropping in. I'm spending the extra money to get the skins. I'm back in.
Got them.
They got me. 2 weeks ago, no, last week I went up to GameStop because I saw again they brought back Godzilla X Kong with Scar King, the skins. I'm like, okay, you got me. I'll go up there to buy the newest game. And they're like, oh, that promotion was only for 5 days. I'm like, wait, seriously? They gave a Godzilla promotion for only 5 days?
Yeah,
like,
they did.
Well, I was like, well, you saved me $60, man. Thank you. I'm not buying it now.
I mean, at least he was nice enough to tell you, you know what I mean? Because some people be like, oh, yeah, have fun with that game, sir.
Come back 20 minutes later. You lied to me, you bastard. Take this game back. Give me Pit Fighter.
Right? Might as well. Shit.
Yeah.
Hey, but at least we got Gaga Bash, so it's okay.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I love that game.
You know, like they are doing that right. So I'm glad you pulled me in on that, because I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I said, okay.
So have you had the battles between Ultraman and Godzilla yet?
Oh, yeah. You know I had to, man. That had to come together.
They
just
did.
The way it needs to be.
I remember when the trailer dropped for the teasers dropped for Hedorah and Ghidorah and all that, and people were like, okay, they have to do 4. They always do 4 characters.
Yes, but
they only did 2 characters this time, and they say that at the summit in Tokyo at the end of this month, they'll announce the other 2 characters that are going to drop. Okay. So, and that summit that happens is usually a heavy Ultraman / heavy Gamera themed convention, not Godzilla.
Right.
And I'm hoping, I mean, if they bring us another Ultraman characters, that's great. Bring us more Godzilla characters, that's great.
Right.
But if we get Gamera in there, if they're able to get that license for Gamera, you're not going to see me for like a full week My kids are going to be crying because I'm going to be whooping their ass in Giga Bash all day long. It's going to happen.
Hey, I'm going to be there on the other side, man. That's where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody will see me either, just like you. We go on. That's it.
Oh, man, that game is so much fun.
Because Gamera in there and, like, the whole Godzilla. It should just put Godzilla Giga Bash on there. You know what I mean?
Pretty much. Yeah, just keep it. Just do that.
Yeah.
Like, I got my favorites. Like, I mainly use either Godzilla or Gigan. Those are my main two. My kids,
they're pretty good.
My daughter, she uses the Wooly character or the building.
Mm-hmm.
My son, he either uses the giant mech, the one that looks like a Gundam, with like the lightning tech, or he'll use Mechagodzilla. And even though he gets angry because Mecha, once he fires his missiles, he has to recharge.
Yep.
So he like runs away to trying to recharge. But we have so much fun. We have so much fun with those games.
Hey, that's the way it is. Because I mean, like, playing those games remind me of King of Monsters way back when by SNK. Yeah. Like,
yes.
Like if you're at home, that's an awesome game to play with, like, you know, one other person. But if you're in the arcade though, and it's like the 4-stop, got everybody in there.
The first King of the Monsters was more wrestling based because you had the ring with the electricity. But King of the Monsters 2 was fun because that was technically a story for part 1.
It was.
This was the campaign mode, multiplayer campaign mode, multiplayer.
Yep. And then it had more monsters, and you can't go wrong with that.
No, that is true. That is true. And speaking of King of Monsters 2, did you ever play was it SNK Battle Coliseum, Battle Royal? The SNK fighting game with the robot, the gorilla robot that was in there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a fun one.
He was representing. I was like, bring it back.
Hey, you had him. You had the Metal Slug guys that were in there. The fighters for them. That was a fun game.
They're coming back strong too. They got a tactical game out now, and Fatal Fury City of Wolves is coming.
Yes.
So like all this stuff inspired that to come back. I'm like, yes, bring them all. And another Samurai Showdown remake would do good too.
That's true. Yeah, Samurai Showdown is always fun. Those games.
Oh yes.
SNK had a lot of hidden gems. People just didn't recognize what they had with SNK.
That is so sad.
It is sad. Because I remember for me going to the local grocery store, they had the SNK machine with like the 5 different games, and it's like, which one am I playing? Am I playing World Heroes? I'm playing Samurai Showdown, playing Aero Fighters, Baseball Stars, Windjammers. So many games. Many games.
Hey, Baseball Stars was addicting as hell, but damn, it wasn't infuriating. You know what I mean? Especially when the computer would throw curveballs out of nowhere. Shit.
Or like the pitchers had like the Mark McGwire, Nolan Ryan strength, and they would just hit those 120 mile an hour fastballs. Oh my god! Yeah, I think it was more infuriating when you're playing the arcade because each quarter gave you like 3 minutes to play, which really only gave you like maybe 1.5 to 2 innings.
And they were robbing us, but we loved it.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, yeah. They definitely were. They definitely were.
Man. But yeah, those were the good old days, man. Like I keep telling people, like, you know, don't be knocking people that played video games. Video games has a whole culture around it. Like you can meet a lot of friends. Sure, you'll have rivals and you'll have those occasional ones think they're better. But the thing is, though, everybody should just sit down, have a good time, and just enjoy themselves. Arcades used to be about that all the time. I missed the arcade life.
Oh yeah, the arcade life. I mean, back in my day, a rivalry started when somebody put their quarter down on the machine for next, and the guy behind them put their quarter in front of theirs.
Yep.
That's where the rivalry started. That's how feuds started. And oh man, yeah, so many fights would break out. You had people. I think the biggest fight I've seen was whenever Marvel vs. Capcom 2 came out.
Yes.
And you knew a fight was going to happen when you had one guy choose 3 cables versus another guy choosing Sentinel, Magneto, Captain Commando, with Thor as his assist.
Yes. They would have those you always knew a guy that would do that shit. Yeah. That's just all there is to it. They would just pick those kind of characters because they knew that it would be kind of hard to penetrate them, especially if one had anti-air and the other one had like the ground move, and then if one had healing. Like, you know, they had the guy with the sombrero that would come up with the healing all the time. I was like, what the fuck?
That is, oh my god, that was so much. That was true. I mean, if you had the cactus with the sombrero, yeah, he did the healing.
Mhm.
Or you had
him or
if you
Jill
did-
Valentine.
Jill Valentine would do Jill Valentine had two. She
Mhm.
either did the leaves or the healing, or she came out with the rocket launcher and like blew herself away.
Yep.
And I hated. There are certain people if I saw them at the arcade, I'm like, I'm not gonna play against him because he's gonna be cheap. All he's gonna do is Hyper Viper with Cable the entire time we're playing. That's it.
Mhm.
I'm not even gonna try that.
And then,
So-
of course, Cable has that one button where he's got to fires the pistol to keep you at bay,
Yeah.
and that just keeps leveling up. It. I miss those days.
Or he throws the trident that
Uh-huh.
that will stun you in air.
Yep.
Oh,
Scimitar.
God. Jeez.
Yeah, but the thing is, there was just that aspect of it because, like, no matter how cheap it was, there were times where the machine would just be all out cheap on you. So it's like,
Yeah. That is true.
You just had to deal with it. And if you ran out of quarters, we would know. Everybody would look right at you.
I think the worst of it was I was playing against somebody, and we were going back and forth, and we were playing Street Fighter versus Marvel versus Street Fighter. We're playing that. No, X-Men versus Street Fighter. We're playing that one. X-Men
Still
versus
classic.
Street Fighter. Still classic. We're playing it. And again, this is the late 90s, like late 90s. And I remember this guy was dropped off at the mall arcade. He was dropped off there, and he had a pager. And if his mom paged him, he had 5 minutes basically to quit what he was doing and get to the exit for his mom to pick him up.
Mhm.
We're in the middle of fighting. That pager goes off. And I'm just like, and all I have to do is like, I just have to waste his time now. I just have to keep blocking, because he's got to go.
Uh-huh.
Because I've met his mom. I've seen his mom. I know that she comes in to get him. We won't see him for 2 weeks.
Oh, shit.
We won't see him for because he'll get grounded. We won't see him for a while. So I just got to hold back and hold my time to where he panics, and either A, he drops the sticks and takes off, or B, he holds his own and gets in trouble.
He went for B, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's the principle of the thing.
We're gonna have the T-1000. Have you seen this boy? It's like, nope. Mom got him.
Oh man. Hey, you know what? That's kind of funny too if it goes down like that. What does the T-1000 do at that moment? Does he do like PR stunts and things like that? Because his job is done. So what is it actually he's supposed to do?
And like what do you do now? He just mimics. He's like one of those floaty things in the middle of outside of a cellular phone store.
Right.
He's the Air Buddies. I don't know.
What a way to go. The ultimate killing machine reduced to this.
He's the one putting the missing boy stickers or missing children stickers on milk cartons. He's putting them on there. Asking you, have you seen this boy? Have you seen this girl?
Yo, like I said, we also got to remember he's not really a police officer, so that's pretty sus.
He was stranger danger before it was something.
Wasn't he though? Like,
Yeah.
And then not to mention, that was really him running too in that movie. Like that's
It
just
was.
really him. It's
That's how he runs. That is
training.
how he runs.
I was like, shit. And then the theme song that plays, you can always remember that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, like the thing is, if that movie was made today, somehow in some way, Chris Hansen would pop up toward that film, looking at him. It's like, sir, come sit down. We got to have a talk.
Oh my god! Do you think that would actually work though? I mean,
it would
Chris
stall him for
Hansen
2 minutes.
Oh shit!
It would stall him for at least 2
Take it
minutes.
back. Or it'd be really messed up if he was the upgraded version of the T-1000.
Oh man, that would be hilarious.
Yes.
Just making random house calls to see if it's really John Connor.
Mhm.
He's going through CPS just to see where he's at.
Hey, he could get to him a lot quicker than the other two could. Put it that
Probably
way.
could. He probably could.
And I would like to see that movie. Strangely enough.
Oh, it's like for some of these like movies that happened back then with today's technology, like the movie The Wizard, those two boys would be found in like a day because of like phone tracking, arcade tracking, cameras. They're gonna show up on Hood News. 2 kids beat up other kids in Tekken. Took off with $30.
They won't get no moment's peace, man.
They won't. They won't.
And then not only that, the guy that was like chasing after him, like what was he? The guy with the glasses and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. His ass would never be alive again. Everybody would find him, beat the shit out of him.
After she made that scream, he touched me. Oh my God.
Yep.
You're gonna see Brad Pitt, and you're gonna see the other Ocean 11 guy pop up and just take care of him right there.
No more scenes with him.
Nope.
Yeah, we had to make sure like it was off screen for that, otherwise we lose our rating.
Kevin Spacey's gonna try to pull up with the van. Get in. Nope, he stopped too. Those truckers come out of nowhere.
Oh man, everybody chasing after him like Fury Road.
Oh man.
Yo, speaking of Kevin Spacey, did you know he's out and about now and he's like teaching acting classes again?
I hope it's at a senior center. I mean, he needs to keep.
No, he's out there with them around them young kids again.
Oh no!
He looking at the boys too. He got that leery eye and shit. It's like, God, I used to love American Beauty, but that was a very sus movie too.
I just hope him, Leonardo DiCaprio, and James Franco don't form a school, don't form kind of college.
You right. Good Lord. Actually, did James Franco ever come back? Did he recover from any of that incident?
He did a TV series.
Okay.
I think it's called The Deuces or Cherry Street or something. It's on. I want to say it's on Max. It's a show on Max. I think it's on there. But he did a series with like Maggie Gyllenhaal and a few other like 90s actors that you recognize their face. Be like, at least they're still alive. So,
well, if they don't look as bad as Pauly Shore does now, yeah.
Woo. I mean, yeah. Pauly Shore looks like Richard Simmons did in the 90s.
God dang, man. Like, he mutated bad. I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, he went from the weasel to the aardvark. He looks bad.
Mm-hmm.
He just looks terrible now.
It wasn't substance abuse, right? That's just being out in the sun too long. Oh.
No, with Pauly Shore, he did drugs, alcohol, rehab stints. I mean, he's clean now. He's clean now. And I know that he's opened up his mansion to like comedians who are trying to make it big, who want to stay with him to learn timing and jokes and everything. He's opened up his house to comedians, up and start comedians, no Franco. And he's really helping the community back. So I think I don't want to, I want to say that he had an issue or he had a cardiac arrest or he had something that made him change his life. And now he's like doing good things. He's like, he's like doing the best now. He's like doing what he can to help. So,
because I mean, as long as he's got a good recovery, you know, kind of like Goldberg, you know, the kid that played as Goldberg, like now he looks a lot better.
Okay, the goalie, not the wrestler. I'm like, what you mean, Goldberg?
Yeah, no, I ain't worried about him, bro. He all right. He knows when to leave and come back.
Well, yeah, the goalie Goldberg.
Yeah. Like, yeah, he's all cleaned up and taken care of now and doing the right thing. So, like I say, recovery is always important. And, you know, anybody can get on the sauce. Have you seen Orlando Brown? That is a good sign of...
No,
he was that kid from That's So Raven, and he was also the young kid that was on, like, a lot of 90s shows back then, like Jamie Foxx show and stuff. And apparently, like, as he got older, like, somebody messed with him and P. Diddy, and list goes on and on.
Okay.
He was at a P. Diddy party, and
man,
you know.
Well, hey, ain't no party like a P. Diddy party.
Apparently not.
Just don't ask Carl Winslow. But still, I mean,
I heard about that. That was some fucked up shit, by the way. Like, you know, I was like, this couldn't be real.
I mean, when I first saw that come, I'm like, I was talking about Carl or Eddie. I could believe Eddie.
Yeah,
I could believe Eddie might have gone to that, but not Carl. I mean,
apparently Carl was the show.
I mean, Die Hard,
right?
Ghostbusters. I mean, come
on. You're thinking about all those and Family Matters in general, but then apparently family does not matter. What happened over there at that house?
Hey, been around the world, aye.
And I can't find my. Hey, that was a hit back then, man. That's good that you brought that up.
It was a hit. Oh yeah, it definitely was a hit. It definitely was a hit. All right. So now we're getting to, since I'm looking at the time.
Okay.
Here's the part of the show I talked to you a little bit about before before we started recording. So here's some questions, and I'm going to go first. But these are 3 questions. Because you're a big avid gamer, I know that you've gone back and played some retro stuff. You played in the arcades. You're from the old school streets of the arcade, that era, and you're still sticking to it. So you have that tenure that a lot of people our age have been brought up in. We went from sitting on the couches with local playing with like the 2 little splitters on the NES to talking trash in the arcade, standing and playing. Yeah. You explain that to kids today that you had to stand up and play in the arcade, that you wasn't sitting down, you stood up. They don't believe that. They think that's a myth, just like dial-up. Wow. It's a myth. And now we're back to sitting on couches and talking trash through headsets. So it's a 3-part. There's 3 questions, and they can't be the same. Each one has to be a different answer. You have to pick a game from any timeline, any period, a game to remake, a game that needs a sequel, and a game that needs an HD re-release. This could be any format, from any game from any format, arcade, console, any of that. And we'll tackle each question one at a time. Okay.
I was about to write some stuff down.
but you could be thinking about it as we're talking per question or per answer. And I'll go first. I'll start with a game that needs a sequel. A game that really needs a sequel. And for me, this was the game that really sold me on the Xbox One. Music-wise, fun play, Sunset Overdrive. It needs a sequel. That game was so much fun. The soundtrack was garage punk rock, amazing tunes. The gameplay was so much fun. The combo system, the storyline was just so epic. So basically, and the DLC content, the main boss was the game director. You fought him inside of this giant mech.
Yeah, I remember that.
Just a fun game, and that's what, besides other Halo games, that game's what sold me on the Xbox One, was because of how fun it looked. And I have always, when someone says what game needs a sequel, Sunset Overdrive.
Most definitely.
That game needs a sequel. So I'm picking that one, and that's my reasons why. So, sir, Jay, what game needs a sequel?
Oh man, what game needs a sequel? Because I love a lot of them, man. It's just like, damn, what game needs a sequel? Ah, shit.
It could be old, it could be arcade, it could be console.
I'm digging deep in the back of my memory on this one. God, what could it be? Oh man. Some of the things I do love do have sequels, but let's just say, I think what needs a new sequel would be, like, it needs a new sequel, right? It could be a new sequel.
Could be a new sequel.
Okay. Soul Calibur 7. That needs to exist.
That would be pretty cool, especially with all the fighting games now that have fighters that could cross over.
Yeah. Like a whole renaissance needs to come for that series.
Yes.
Because the last 2 were not doing so hot. Well, 6 was doing great.
Yeah.
But then, like, nobody played it. You know what I mean?
True.
Turned off by 5.
Are there any crossover characters that you would bring to that game?
Let's say, because I would love to see more of the Samurai Showdown characters. That they did do it in 6, where they had Haomaru come in, but they could have brought over some more of the Samurai Showdown characters. Some Bushido Blade characters could come in there.
That would be cool.
And I kind of gave away one of my other answers, but yeah, Bushido Blade, like, oh man, like all the weapon-based fighters, and maybe, I guess as a joke character, maybe you could put Sonic in there from Sonic and the Black Knight out. You know what I'm saying?
No Meta Knight, no Sora. Oh, man.
I mean, Sora did come back though because Smash Brothers, but you know, the thing is that Smash Brothers, it depends on whether you think of that as a fighting game or not. You know what I mean?
True.
Some people don't even see it that way.
That is true. That is very much true.
Yeah. And then Sakurai always goes back and forth on whether it is or not. So it's like, you ain't got no help there.
That very true. Very, very true. Okay.
But yeah, definitely Soul Calibur 7 I would love to see that.
Okay. Next one up, game to remake. A game that needs a remake. And to give you like an example, Turok for the 64, there was Turok for 360 that came out.
Right.
Old Doom, we got new Doom.
Right.
So there's a lot of games that have gotten reboots or remakes. To DMC, to Devil May Cry, if anybody wants to talk about that. But as far as a remake for me, that I'm going to kind of go into the era. This is a game that I remember got a lot of play in the arcades, but nobody really talked about it because of other fighting games that are happening. And I'm going to say Fighting Vipers. With the ring outs, that game. Hey, you know what? Bring Pepsi back as a sponsor again, because I remember the walls had Pepsi all over it.
Yes, he did.
But Fighting Vipers, I remember playing that. I played with people who were in the arcade. People got pissed because I chose the kid with the skateboard, because if you did forward, strong kick, you do a drop kick with the skateboard, which was like almost an instant ring out. And that game was just so much fun. And I think with today's day and age, that type of mentality, because we have Soul Calibur has a ring out,
right?
Virtua Fighter has a ring out,
definitely.
That game could, with newer mechanics, could be a fun game to really go up to fighting game ranks if it's done correctly.
Oh yes,
but I do remember Fighting Vipers. You know what? I'm going to change my answer. Forget Fighting Vipers. This one just popped in my head. Forget Fighting Vipers. Primal Rage. Bring back Primal Rage. New dinosaurs, more history authentic looking dinosaurs, more wacky hybrid looking dinosaurs. Because now we've got we got 6 Jurassic Park movies.
Yeah, this is the perfect time.
Yeah,
and Godzilla, you know.
Yeah, Godzilla, the skull crawlers.
Yes.
Primal Rage, new dinosaurs. Pick up, something new, different. That'd be a lot of fun. So, fuck you, Fighting Vipers. Primal Rage.
Oh, see, like if you could only choose one, you got rid of that, right?
Yeah. Go and choose one.
Oh man. Shoot, dude. Like, wow. So is it my turn yet?
That's your turn, yeah.
Why'd you take that? I wanted that. I'm just kidding. That was on my list, but I'll be perfectly honest with you. You would think it would be Bushido Blade, but nah. That's good, but it's not at my top. My top will always be Eternal Champions. Eternal Champions was an underrated game. It was full. Like you had to not only fight all the other people, of course, but you also had to fight the Eternal Champion not once but twice. Yes. And then there was in the Sega CD one that came out, you had to fight against a dark one too, like a dark Eternal Champion.
Yeah.
So it was like they had something there, but Sega did not want another fighting game because they chose Virtual Fighter. And I was like, why? And I mention Alan all the time on J360 Productions. And the thing is, because he's a Virtual Fighter fan, and I never let him get away with it. I'm always like, it's because of you I don't have a sequel to this.
Eternal Champions was amazing though. I mean, the level fatalities. If you hit them, the music, if you hit the level fatalities certain ways, like what was the one that had like the drive-by shooting, like the old 50s or 40s drive-by shooting? The
Chicago level with Larson.
And then the one with like the dinosaur era with like the tentacle that comes out of the ground and like kills the person in the swamp water.
Yo, that was Atlantis with Trident. That was so awesome back in the day. And then like speaking of the dinosaur, you could summon one if you were playing a Slash in his level. It was cutting edge, and like when you played it, it was during like Sega's like when Sega had a grip on everything. They would come and abuse the logo and stuff. They
would come in. What was it? Yeah, Gunstar Heroes would destroy the logo. Not Primal Rage. Eternal Champions would beat up the logo depending on the. No, the guy with the grappling hook would swing and destroy the logo.
And then like the vampire dude would suck like the colors out of it.
Yeah,
by just grabbing onto it, like he had like the Morbius plasma sucker thing.
Yeah, and the caveman would beat it with the club.
Of course.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that.
That was an awesome game.
That was such a good game. That one, I think because remember that one came out, and then Time Killers came out as like a way to kind of like up the shock value.
Yes.
And well, Time Killers was okay, but Eternal Champions had longevity.
Yeah.
And it just sucks that like Polygon Fighter took over and just it's not good.
It just, it was like saying this is the next level no matter what, but it's like you could always go 2D 2.5D, which is what Street Fighter 4 did, and I mean it was always there. They went back to do it, and they just were like, "Oh, hey." And it's like, "Yeah, how many fighters you destroyed because you didn't use that?" You know?
That is true. That is true.
All
right.
Even they had a hard time. But go on.
Yeah. All right. Final question. Game that needs an HD re-release. And as examples, Turtles in Time, Final Fantasy VII, Parts 1, Parts 1.5, Parts 1.75.
We're never
Part
getting to
2.
3, are we?
No. Final Fantasy 15, Part 1, Part 1.5, Part...
Oh, my God.
So the game I'm picking is the HD re-release, has never been ported, as far as I know, to any system. And it was a quarter killer, depending on what level you got on. It was super fun if you had 4 people playing with you. I'm talking about the Capcom Aliens vs. Predator, the arcade. That needs an HD re-release.
That was a beautiful game. That needs to come.
I mean, we got Shredder's Revenge, Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Yes.
There is no reason why Aliens vs. Predators does not get another beat 'em up, side-scrolling beat 'em up. That should happen.
And I mean, like, MAME can only do so much, man, especially if your computer doesn't want to run it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It can only do so much, but I mean, have all the little hidden things like the girl who did like the dragon uppercut because it's Capcom.
Yes.
Or the guy who did the fireball because, again, Capcom. They had all those extras in there.
Yeah.
I mean, make Mega Man like a hidden character to fight aliens. That'd be hilarious.
That would be nice.
It would, but yeah.
I mean, like, you see, but that's the thing. Like, way back in those days, those cameos and all that stuff, that was something special. You know what I mean? Especially, like, when you're playing the game and you're focused on the game, but you see that and you're like, hey, okay, I get that. That's nice. Cool.
I think what got me was Nintendo when it had Legend of Zelda Link to the Past for the game. No, the one for Game Boy. And there's a mini game in there with the claw machine where you get like an extra heart or weapons or whatever. And then all of a sudden, a Yoshi doll was on the cart. And if you got the Yoshi doll, I believe you got 3 HP or so. You got like bonus stuff.
Cool.
But I'm like, wait a minute. What is Yoshi doing in Zelda? What is Yoshi doing in Hyrule? That doesn't make any sense. But it was a cool thing to see. It was really cool to see. And that was always fun.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you're going to love this, though, because this is actually a part of the Street Fighter universe, but nobody talks about it.
That's true.
And it was also another part of the Final Fight universe. Saturday Slam Masters
Love
needs an HD remake.
Love that game.
That needs an all-new HD remake right there. 4 of your buddies coming in and playing the game with you and just go wild.
Yes.
Like the whole Capcom Wrestling Federation and everything. Like they can restart that whole franchise, and not only that, tell the story of like Hager being a wrestler back in the day, or bringing some of the other characters in. It's just like have them sit in the audience.
Well, I remember the big rumor with that game was that Gunlock in the game was Guile's brother.
Yeah, that was the thing.
And then you had who else was it? They wanted to put Ondor in there, but they already had Hagar, so Ondor got replaced by Titan.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been Ondor. But that game that was the second game I bought for Super Nintendo. Was that game? And
that was awesome.
Played the hell out of that game. Hagar, Gunlock, Biff, Stingray. I forget the Rasta guy's name, but he did the off the top rope bulldog move.
Yep.
Oh, that game was so much fun.
It is, and I mean, like, if we take it back to like how classic wrestling games were, like, almost everything is simulator, but you always had that fun wrestling arcade game to go back to. It didn't make sense, and God knows you didn't care. You did not care to read any of the directions. You would find them on your own. And the thing is, it was a game, and everybody would always talk smack to each other like you were actually in there. It was beautiful. Like the arcade version of that game was untouchable, and then was the ports and all. And it's like they did showcase all of the arcade games, but you can tell they're just ports. That needs an HD remake. Make it look like Street Fighter 4 or even Street Fighter 6. Yeah, you can do that.
Oh man,
create a character.
I mean, for that game, the most stressful part, but the most fun was when you did the tornado tag match with your friend.
Yes.
And you're playing against the computer, and you have to rush to go save your friend if he gets pinned.
Uh-huh.
You have to like tap those buttons. I'm on the way, and you try to save your friend.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the game was so much fun.
They have to keep that, man. They you know what I mean? Like they have to keep these games circulating, but put in the money to do that. Yeah. And, you know, for a close second, it was going to be Darkstalkers.
Ooh.
That needs it.
That needs a remake. But would it need a remake, or would it be better with a sequel?
Yeah.
Because if you have a sequel, you could bring back the old characters and just add a few new ones.
True.
If you do a remake, my fear is that Morgan won't be the same Morgan now because of how she looks.
Oh, what's wrong with how she looks, man? I mean, she's culturally active.
Hey, they're gonna cover her up like they did Mai.
Oh yeah.
I saw that Street Fighter 6 Mai with Terry trailer.
I saw it.
Yeah, she's wearing a wetsuit now.
Yeah. Why?
She's wearing a wetsuit now.
Yeah, that's so terrible, man. Like all that would-be censorship and stuff. But let me tell you something now. I know this has nothing to do with our category, but Stellar Blade, you know what I mean? That lets you know. It's like, all right.
True.
I was like sitting there. I was like, I don't give a damn about the plot. I'm okay with what I'm seeing.
Oh, man. That's true. I think what got me in the King of Fighters was whenever GamePro was the EGM did that spotlight on Mai about how, this girl is censored in America. I'm like, wait, what? Why? Oh, this game was released on Super Nintendo, Fatal Fury World Special, and it's uncensored. Okay, and I'm like, hey, Mai's my ride or die. So,
just like anything else, there has to be an option in there where it could be like classic Mai, and then we're all happy.
It's gonna be that DOA age level thing to where it's just like flowing like wind through a windmill, just constantly waves of energy. It just bounce, and it'll be glorious.
Yes,
it will be.
Speaking of a series that lost its way, though, damn, I mean DOA. What happened? Was 6 that bad, or like? Because they were on a comeback with 5.
They were on a comeback with 5. I think 6. I don't know if. Oh no! I think what happened was it was 6. It was all the pay for costumes thing, because it was something like if you wanted to buy every single DOA costume, whether it be for Extreme Volleyball 2 or DOA 6, I think it was like to buy every single costume, every single like small stuff.
Right.
You're going to spend close to like $800 to get everything.
What?
Yeah, it was expensive. It got really expensive.
Jesus, man. I mean,
and then this is whenever I think it was like Tekken 6 or 7 came out, and it was like, you know what? Here's a bundle pack for $10. You get everything. So
smart move, Harada.
Yeah. But I remember DOA died whenever someone like price pointed everything with taxes, and it was around $800 to get all the skins, all the costumes, all the like little attributes, everything. And it's like, man, who's going to put that money in there? Nobody's going to do that.
No, that's ridiculous. Like whoever the hell is at Tecmo now, hopefully they're not there anymore. Hopefully they are missing, because the point is, if you come up with an idea like that, you're going to be riding on that Dynasty Warriors train forever because you done killed off one of your IPs. Nobody will trust you anymore. Dynasty Warriors 12.
Feudal Japan again.
Right. I mean, this is after they lost the Gundam license.
Hey, those Gundam games were fun.
They were
fun. But Dynasty, it's like when you see the same Dynasty Warrior over and over and over, and the only thing that changes is the length of his goatee, it's time to move on. It's
the War of the Three Kingdoms is still going, huh? Things like that.
Fang Law still has those fans.
Yeah. What province we fighting for now?
Oh well.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. Hope for a better game, harass people on X.
Yes, they should try again. But what it is, though, also AAA gaming or whatever it's called nowadays, they all got a name now. It's gotten so expensive to do, and instead of picking the thing that the fans like, they won't.
That is true.
So it's just really sad.
They'll pick what will make them the most DLC money, not what will make them the most favorited game. So that's kind of where I see that.
Yeah. But like the Eastern developers, they want that. They're like very happy about it. They'll be like, hey, this will be all right. But it's the other side on the West that is like, modern audiences. Oh, you mean the people that don't invest in anything, right? Out.
Yep. American audiences, okay, let's release a free game. But you know what? If they want to play as the Joker, as Darth Vader, or as this character that's in the Star Wars movie, we'll charge them $25 per character.
Yeah, nonsense like that.
Looking at you, Fortnite.
Right?
Looking at you, Fortnite. Well, Jay, it has been an awesome pleasure to have you on for this show.
Of course, man.
It has been so much fun. This has been a episode in the making for a few years now.
Yes, sir.
And it has finally happened, and I'm glad it finally did. So,
hey, no problem.
At this moment, plug your stuff. Where can people find you? What do you have going on? The floor is now yours.
Okay, well, people can find me on the new J360 radio station. That is j360radio.mixler.com. And then they can also hang out with me on the YouTube channel with youtube.com/J360productions. And soon enough, j360productions.com will be in play again. All
right, that's awesome. Where can they find you on the socials? Are you everywhere?
Yeah, just about. It would be J360 Productions, for everything pretty much, and then that's me.
Hey, you know what? When I post this episode up, follow my link. Just look who I liked or look who I'm following. You will see him pop up. He is one of the people I follow. Worth the time to listen to. If you're at work on the car ride home or the car ride to work, give him a listen. It is fun. You'll be entertained. And you'll be yelled at a few times too. But you know what? You need yelling in your life. You need to pick me up. You need somebody to give you that every given Sunday lecture that you need to hear. And it is worth it. So, with that being said, for We're Negative, we're on YouTube, we're on StreamYard, we're on Podbean, iTunes, we're on all those things. Got a YouTube channel, Front Row Negative, Instagram. I'm trying to run that by myself, but busy life, stressful life. But give us a listen. CrossTheStreamsMedia.com. There's other podcasts there that you can listen to, except for Movie Gap because nobody likes Chase. And until next time, this is Aaron with Front Row Negative. Again, Jay, thank you for coming on.
Hey, no problem. Thank you.
It's been awesome. And Chris, if you made it this far, fuck ponchos. I'm glad they're out of business. So until next time, bye. That face.
Thanks for listening. If you like what you heard, check out CrossTheStreamsMedia.com to hear more episodes of this podcast and the other shows on the Cross the Streams network. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you download your favorite shows. Visit CrossTheStreamsMedia.com for more information. See you next time.
This has been a Cross the Streams Media Podcast.